The Nissan Nation podcast is a presentation of DRB and KGB Media.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From the land of milk and honey here in Middle Tennessee, I am David Boyd alongside my co-host, Mr. Daniel Groders. What's going on, amigo?
What's up, buddy?
Man, what are you, an airline pilot this week? What is that?
Yes, I am. I have a flashy new headset because I lost some parts to my setup at the old WENTwindrock.
I think
that podcast went a little wild, so cleanup on that didn't go quite as planned. So we have some mix up in mics and cables, so I had to run out and get a headset. So we're flying in low today. We're coming in hot with the Nissan Nation podcast.
Man, what a great time we had, man. Drunk Fest 2015, I think, man. It was pretty crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dave. I was never drunk.
Yeah, between the rape cabin or whatever, and
I don't remember that, Dave.
I can see it in your face now that you can't remember that, man. So let's get into Went just a little bit, man. What was kind of the highlights for you of the event?
I'd say the highlight was one of the podcast and the night run. The podcast, I had so much fun just sitting there chatting, and then afterwards, everybody kind of hung out. We all were drinking beers, and there was music going, and we were just having a good old time, man.
Is that the night I busted my face into the ground?
Yeah, well, you almost busted your face. I think you busted your knee in the ground.
Yeah, that
tripping over my leg. But yeah, that's the kind of shenanigans that happens when you're out just hanging out and having a good time, man.
Man, I think the funny thing with these podcasts, of course, we're relatively new with this, but they keep each live show keeps amping up just a little bit. And man, I can't
for real.
I can't wait for Moab next year, man. I think we're gonna have circus monkeys hanging from the ceiling, and
it's gonna be like a 3-hour show, man.
Yeah, there was no golden sleepovers or anything on this one, but the two events are just completely different. I think you've said it in the past. This one's a little more community. It's everybody hangs out together a little bit more. Some of the highlights for me was Trail 15, man. Watching Mr. Pankow there take people up that was pretty amazing. Of course, I don't think you ever got to see any go up that trail yet, did you?
We drove by when somebody was going up it, and now that I've seen a ton of videos, I kind of it's a pretty gnarly trail, man. Yeah.
From what Luke was kind of comparing it to, and I think somebody there had labeled this trail now the Gatekeeper, but they kind of say this is our Hells of Moab a little bit. You've got a little bit of off camber. You just don't know where you're going. You're going to be on your side just a little bit, and it's going to take a locker or two to get you up that thing, man. So. We got Groders down.
Sorry, am I here still?
You are here, sir.
Sorry, I got a new headset. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. The new pilot headset is a little messed up.
That's right.
But
man.
yeah, no, that trail's gnarly. I mean, I saw Angel taking that V8 Xterra up there with the solid axles, and that thing was just, you just see those axles just getting crossed up, man. It's just like massive amounts of off camber articulation and kind of get you there. I guess he ended up winching a Jeep off that went on his side in that trail too, if I remember right.
Yeah, I actually I heard that we had some people going up there, and I stopped by on Saturday, and there was a major roadblock there with a Jeep on its side, and I guess they killed the battery trying to winch themselves out because it was so on its side that they had to shut the motor down, and pandemonium there, man. But hey, a Jeep's gonna do what a Jeep's gonna do, and flop around while the Xterra just goes around them. I guess
that's how they roll, man. They call that the crimped whisker. The Jeep goes over like that. You do the full crimped whisker, man.
Well, it was slightly scary because the guy in the Jeep, his girlfriend or wife or whoever, they had 5-port harnesses in this vehicle, and when it flopped, it rolled on the passenger side, and neither one of them had seatbelts on. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why you're going up such an off-camber trail while you're not not in there. Of course, they didn't have doors on the thing, and it was
Yep.
crazy. But yeah, speaking of that V8, man, God, that thing is not even completely tuned, and it just sounds badass.
Yeah, that thing was so rad when it was going up the rock challenge, and he just kept getting on the gas. I was behind him, kind of video and watching, and just that thing was just screaming, man.
Throwing rocks everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was out of control. I mean, yeah, this is obviously the most epic and awesomest ever went that's happened yet. You know, I'd say it just as big and or bigger than Moab, for the Nissan community. And so just between all the, you know, we had the night run. How many trucks do we have? 40 trucks or something like that on the night run?
Yeah, probably about that.
So the rock challenge, we had, you know, Chema blew his
Front diff,
center diff, and his front diff. I mean, we had
the V8. He blew a drive
V8.
shaft.
Yeah, he blew his U joint, I believe.
Yeah.
The rear U joint.
It
But you know,
busted
some carnage.
Did you say like he busted the inner bead lock on that thing, man?
Oh really?
Yeah, he just destroyed a rim on that.
Oh, I bet, dude. He was mobbing. I mean, he was pushing that gas pedal, and that's a whole lot of power pushing through the.
Right, and I think he wanted to go for the record. You know, I mean, he wanted.
Oh yeah.
And what was the Overly, or I forget their names that won it.
James Overly.
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
He's
James or his brother.
No, James is the one.
James, right?
Yeah, his brother was the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
But they didn't get to beat his record this year, but he did hold on to his title for 2 years in a row, which was pretty cool. And this year was pretty cool because we had a drone come out on Saturday. We had our buddy JR had some guy he works with that had a drone. He's like, "Hey man, can I bring this thing out?" And I was like, "Well, hell yeah, can you bring this thing out?"
All right.
And pictures normally on this rock challenge, pictures don't do it justice. But when you see like the drone kind of sitting up, you know, up in the air with it, you actually get a feel of the climb they have to do, and it's pretty ridiculous, really. Yeah. But
I love how the fact that it's you know it's a competition. So the guys that trailer their trucks up there, it's really turned into a competition this year. I mean, you know, there was two guys I want to say that went up that just wanted to see if they could do it. But the rest of those guys, you know what? Every single one of them sounded to me like, I'm not going to push it too hard. But I know Angel got up there, started going, and he said, you know what? I decided I was going to win. And you could tell, man, he was literally throwing like
boulders,
like pumpkin-sized boulders, like 15 feet, with just smashing gas pedal going up there. And say, you know, I mean, Chema didn't make it very far, but I mean, he was hammered down on that pedal, and that's why he blew his whole center front diff apart, trying to get up through the first section of rocks.
Well, you know what I think kills people on this, and where I've seen the most breakdowns is, so you get maybe about 200 feet in, and then you start climbing. And I think the 200 feet or so kind of gets people a little too comfortable. They're like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. And when you hit that climb, all of a sudden, and that's where we have carnage every year. It's because people really get into it. But Angel he was really close to the end. I think he just had to fall on that drive shaft or something on a rock to do what he did.
Yeah, he just kind of got into a bad angle and dropped real deep on that rear axle and blew I think that that drive shaft hit a rock, and you know, a lot of torsion and a lot of pushing on two different directions ain't gonna do anything good for you.
Right. So I mean, it was pretty cool. It was your birthday weekend, man. I mean, we tried to party to you down there a little bit, buddy.
Oh, that was a fantastic birthday week. Dude, so I appreciate that.
I love the picture I took of you like leaning against the door, man, when it was like
next morning picture.
Right. And I'd heard that you were having a little bit of a rough morning there, and I was there with you, man. We went out and Kelly was doing some driving, and I literally, we got to the first trail, and after we got off the service roads, and I'm sitting there, and I just get out of the truck, and I put my head over the window, and I'm just like, oh my God, how am I going to make it through this, man? But, you know, totally. you get a little bit of something in you, and it helps out. So let's see, Dan. So I'm going to say this year's was a huge success.
I'd say so. For those of you that didn't go, you have like last year I felt like I missed out because I missed out on the Rock Challenge. I mean, I went out there and saw a couple things, but this year if you didn't go, I can only imagine how sad you would be. Like it was so awesome. If you don't plan on going to the next year's, which I'm hoping happens, then you're having real Xterra problems or Frontier problems or Nissan Altima Titan Frontier problems.
And speaking of the Titan, man, Nissan surprised us. And me and Mr. Kevin Smith, who works hand in hand with Nissan in North America, we've been working for a long time to get like Project Titan out. And I guess with Nissan doing the whatever they're doing with the Titans football team there, where they got Project Titan sitting there now out front. So, it was a weekend. That wasn't going to happen. I guess they had a football game coming up. But the cool thing was they said, hey, okay, well, we're going to bring you a diesel, a 2016 prototype diesel, $100,000 truck they brought out there just to sit at the event. They started it up. They drove it around a little bit. And that...
Yeah, I think a couple guys ended up getting rides in it. I got a little ride in it.
No, nobody got rides in that thing. I mean,
no, we sat in the seats and we bounced around and pretended like we were driving,
Yeah, but no, I think
5-year-old kids.
I think they did take it around the parking lot a little bit, man.
Yeah, just around the parking lot.
And they were so stoked. Of course, it's the platinum edition, all the bells and whistles. And
Dave, I think they installed that thing that I requested, the Hummer machine.
Yeah.
I felt a little something in that seat. I'm guessing that's a Hummer machine. They probably Nissan's been listening to us, man.
Let's
I know
hope
they
so.
have. They may not tell anybody about it, but they've been listening. They're keeping their ear to the ground, and they heard about my brilliant Hummer machine idea, and I think it's gonna be factory option.
Oh, so that wasn't a push button start. That was the start for the.
No, that was something else. I felt it in the seat. I didn't want to say anything there. I didn't want to blow up Nissan out,
Right. Well, but I was surprised when they started that thing. It wasn't very loud at all. I mean, you do have that little bit of diesel rattle to that engine, but overall, man, and this is a prototype that's not showroom ready by any means. God, it looked great to me. I was super excited to see it.
Yes. Speaking of new vehicles, man, we got the latest news coming out of Nissan for 2016 production. What do you got over there, man? You got some news for us?
We do have some news.
Nissan news.
Let's see. 2016 Altima is getting a facelift, man. They announced in Detroit and New York Auto Show that they were refreshing it a little bit. They're trying to get a little more racy with the thing. What is up, Dan?
Sorry, man. I was just listening, turning that over in my head just a second ago with our super weak news announcement segment there, and I think we need something better than our voices saying it's news time. We need to have a sound bit for that now. So that's your new job for next week. We need to. You know what? For anybody that's listening, post up on our Facebook page if you want to do the news announcement. We want someone to help announce the news. So if you got something cool that we could use to announce the news, post up on our Facebook page, Nissan Nation Podcast Facebook, and let's get some ideas because we need a better news segment because me and you just say news, Nissan news. Just it's not gonna cut it anymore, Dave.
We're professionals now, man. I forgot.
We're way more professional. We need like beep 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 beep.
That's right, man. Well, anyways, let's see. So the 2016 Altima was brought out. I guess this is probably going to go on sale early next spring, but
November.
Man, was it November? Okay, sweet.
November. They're cutting this thing right out in November, man. It's this year.
Well, I've got friends that worked on this thing out at the plant, and I know they were super excited because this is actually it's taken a good year of just development for the plant. But it's very racy now. It looks like the Altima is going to be their flagship of design now, and the Altima now is, I guess it's kind of got that Maxima feel to it.
Yeah,
you know?
it looks a ton like the Maxima, and from what I was reading, the Altima is like Nissan's number one selling car, from what I understand.
It is.
I believe so. Yeah, and it's their number one selling car. So I do think it's their flagship as far as moving numbers and producing something that will keep up keep up the demand for it and keep them moving forward and selling cars that are that are awesome. So they're offering it in like a ton of different options. They have like the
new
base, the S, the SR,
yeah, the SR,
SE, the SL, the 3.5 SR, the 3.5 SL, like tons of different options for it, obviously. So
well, it's kind of cool, man, that they're taking this SR and bringing it into the other car packages a little bit. The SR is really kind of their sporty package, and you know, the Altima, it's kind of a sleeper car, anyways, man. I've seen some people drop these things around town and you know, just pimp them up a little bit, and it's a great looking car. The last generation was my favorite, and I think this new redesign is going to be my favorite now, man. It's just electric the way their design is. We'll be sure to post, and we'll be sure to post some pictures up on the Facebook or on the Facebook and our website, NissanNationPodcast.com. And let's see, what are some of the numbers on this thing, Dan?
You know what? The 2.5 looks like it's getting about 182 horse, somewhere around 180 foot-pounds of torque. It's about equal for horse and torque. And then the 3.5 looks like it's getting 270 horse. So you know, it's gonna be quick, man. It's a small car with I mean, 270 horse these days. That's just shy of 300. I mean, that's like Nissan Xterra horsepower, and it's more than Nissan
right.
Xterra, and it's like probably half the way.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, so, the crazy thing is they're up to 39 miles per gallon on this 2.5 now. And that's a 26% increase since 2006 when they started releasing this motor in these cars.
Yeah.
So
27 to 39 mpg is what it's cracking out at. So
dude,
they got all kinds of extra different. They got their sports package with 18-inch wheels and all that spoilers. They got spoilers on the SR edition.
Well, you got to have spoilers. You got to have those. Well, I mean, you know, a big thing for Nissan, they were really trying to push their market presence even bigger in the U.S. and worldwide. But the Altima is really their car of growth. They've went from like 2009 when the economy was down, they were selling about 200,000 of those a year, to they're now up to about 335,000. So that's
crazy.
That's
I'm kind of curious if they're gonna. I'm kind of curious if they're gonna sell a two-door like they did. They sold a two-door last version, right?
Right. No, they sadly that two-door it never took off, man. It was kind of based on it was kind of based on the G35 platform a little bit.
Right.
And from what I understand, the only piece of Altima that would switch over with the four-door was the hood. So other than that, it was kind of really its own car. But you know, when I was a kid, coupes were the thing to have, man. You didn't want a four-door car, but now it's like kids would rather have a four-door car.
I suppose at the same time, you know, like if you were gonna get a two-door, you might as well just get the Z instead of. I mean, it's basically just it was probably like a little bit more economical, but you know, you just buy a used Z instead of a new Z. So it probably, they probably kind of competed against themselves a little bit in that market, I suppose.
Well, you know, and speaking of the Altima, the new Nissan Rogue is based on this Altima platform. And the little CUVs or whatever we'll call it, an SUV, but they're here to stay, and they're selling a ton of that car. In 2009, they went to selling about 77,000 a year, which is, you know, that's okay. But they've jumped up to this year is almost nearly 200,000 that they've sold of that thing. So, you know, they call it the X-Trail in Japan and Canada and everywhere, but that little thing is, like I said, it's based on this Altima, and it's a little rocket ship too, man. I'm really excited, like what they're doing now. If they could just take, you know, make the Pathfinder a Pathfinder again, and just leave these little mom and pop, you know, front wheel drive SUVs where they're at, and give us a, you know, kind of a true off road vehicle again. But sadly, I think those days are gone.
We're kind of beating a dead horse when it comes to wishing and hoping when it came to, you know, off road and stuff. I mean, we're kind of like, you know, die hard that stuff. So we'll just see what the future holds and make whatever they come out with, and we'll make it cool.
Well, maybe if this new Titan actually takes off, it will actually help spark some interest in their truck line, and we might get some more badass vehicles. I do. Speaking of news, I do expect to see the new Frontier at the Detroit Auto Show, which is in January, which seems like far off, but it's really not, because they're starting to get into the car show season. And I really, I've seen one floating around town. We posted up some pictures about it. It's the Navara for all intents and purposes, but I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with that engine. So I really think that this the new 4-liter, that's really intriguing to me, because I got a feeling it's going to be direct injected as well, and they've got to get some mileage out of that motor. The motor's not that old, so they can't go out there and just redesign. They need it for at least another 10 years before they worry about a design change for the trucks. And with this new 4.0, it's going to go in the Titan. They're going to do an economy work truck version, and they ain't putting no 4-cylinder in that thing. I can tell you that. So,
right.
So
yeah, I think they'll probably direct inject, and if not, they'll there's a lot to be brought out of that motor. So I know I mean, race truck runs it, and it runs a lot more horsepower, and not that it's more economy, but that it's a stout motor. It can handle a lot, and I'm sure with their knowledgeable physics of science and and rulers, they'll be able to eke out a bunch, probably more horsepower, probably better gas mileage.
I really feel like they could get 320, 325 easily out of that motor.
Probably,
and it's so torquey. But so we've got, we're getting into the heart of the fun news for me, car show time. And I know, I guess it's usually November's when they do the Nashville Auto Car Show. And Nissan is the biggest presence there, but sadly they're not that huge. It's almost like bringing a bunch of car dealers in and putting them under a roof and saying, hey, look at the new cars. But so I know I'll be excited to see. I don't know how close you are to where they do the LA car show, man, but
yeah, I'm super close to that. And I have gone quite a few years in a row. I missed it like once or twice now here, but I mean, before even that, we're gonna, it's not. I guess it's a car show, the SEMA show in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which all the large auto manufacturers are there. They bring out all their custom cars, their sport cars. I'm guessing that they're probably going to have, a couple GTRs, probably that little, what is it, the Juke, the Nismo Juke.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting to see a lot of Titan presence there this year.
For sure.
I know Nissan released the video where they had all the aftermarket guys measuring up on the truck and stuff, and Weston and all those Bull Bar guys, they were out there, and I've seen pictures of where they're test fitting those for it. So I really expect to see some lifts and stuff for this thing. I know Nissfest, we were talking with Chris when he was at Went. He was super excited to see that truck there, because I know he has all kinds of ideas they want to do for it. And they're just waiting. They're waiting for their local dealership there to get one so they can go crazy on the thing, mad scientists on that thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have Boulder Nissan, I believe, bring one over so we can, as soon as they get their first one, they're gonna bring it over so we can pull it apart and get some cool stuff for it, so we can, because stock sucks when it comes down to it.
No, definitely. And speaking of Nissfest, man, I want to say a huge thank you to Chris Meisner. The guy's been a huge supporter of about everything I do, man, from the forums to this. It seems like we can never get him on the podcast. Every time we go to mention his name, he's like gone. I don't know. I don't know if he just doesn't want his.
I think he's dubbed me his official spokesperson for Nissfest.
But
he's like, you just take care of that stuff. But yeah, he's the brains behind it, and he's a good dude, and he's always taking care of us.
Right, and I really want to say thank you to him. He's given me some support through my vehicles and stuff, and I think he's done Dan right with that too. And I mean, I know, people can help you out with parts and stuff, and, you're like, okay, you got to push them. But I wouldn't if this guy wasn't a great guy to deal with, I really wouldn't push anything he does. I mean, I appreciate, discounts and stuff like everybody else. But the guy, like, 24/7, man, I think I could call him right now and say, hey, Chris, I'm having a problem. And he would be on the phone or on Skype or something with me, really working with me. So if you truck guys are out there, please give Nissfest what is it? Nisstechlifts.com.
Nisstechlifts.com, babe.
Sorry. This whole Nissan thing, man, and then you try to add
I know, man. You got a weird twang over there. Everything sounds wrong coming out of your mouth.
I know. It's Tennessee, man. What can I say?
I've only seen one thing coming out of your mouth that Never mind.
That's the wrong podcast, Dan. That's the wrong podcast.
Roger that.
Let's see. So we'll get back to Ultima a little bit. The new design, man, they've just changed the front and back a little bit, but it's very racy to me. I'm super excited to see, because I know they're already talking about doing Sentra, and I'm assuming Sentra is going to get the same kind of styling. Sentra's, usually your more affordable car for, let's see, the 18 to 25-year-olds maybe, if they wanted to buy a new car.
Yeah, and they've been a little bit like roundy and not super awesome. They had a couple years where they were decent, but I don't even remember.
Yeah, well,
they've never been awesome. I know that.
I love that the last generation of Nissan cars, man. That just square, that real choppy body lines and stuff. And yeah, in this one they really went more smooth, but they finally, with this new grill and stuff, it finally feels like, it belongs on the car. It's not so, Honda gets real conservative with their designs, man, and they boring. They're going to sell a ton of them because Honda quality, but it looked like going this last generation of Ultima that Nissan was really trying to do that, maybe go a little more conservative, and finally they're bringing back the fun.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I'm hoping that they really, keep with the race like look style that they're pushing towards. I mean, all the new cars really have a really sweet styling, and they just keep pushing it to look, more awesome, radical dude.
Totally.
Styling.
Wait, we got Ninja Turtles here all of a sudden, man. Let's get the pizza out, bro.
Sorry, man.
Don't bro me, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Bro Chacho, come on now.
So yeah, what we got a special guest on tonight, Dave.
We do, man.
We freaking yammer on over here with freaking slapping our jaws together about Nissans or Nissans, whatever you want to talk about. Nissans. But yeah, we got a cool guest that we're going to be introducing here, and he is running the Nissfest, which is out here in Southern California, over here at the Auto Club Speedway. So we're going to have him here in a second. We're going to get him on, and we'll chat about and see what this is all about, man. Big car event out here.
Well, let's bring him on, man.
All right, Dave. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Tony in. Tony is one of the main coordinators. Well, I don't know what you'd call it, event planners for the Nissfest 2015 out here in Southern California. They're having that at the Auto Club Speedway out here. So yeah, Tony, welcome on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate you taking out your time to want to ask me some questions, and hopefully I can answer all of them. And
yeah, for sure.
Look forward to seeing you guys out there as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, Tony, let's start by just kind of like introducing you as a Nissan fan. Kind of, why don't you just give us a quick heads up on kind of how you started in the whole like Nissan world, and maybe what you drive, or how it all started, man.
Well, I'm currently driving a 370Z. It started about last year in May. Me and a group of guys formed not really a club, but it's called SoCal Z. And what we did was we hosted canyon runs all over Southern California. And, it kind of evolved since then. We've gone through a lot of growth, when it comes to doing events and stuff like that. It was about, I want to say it was about 11 of us that originally started the, kind of like a club. We don't want to really call ourselves formally.
Yeah, you don't want to be like a formal club. You just want to be a bunch of enthusiasts that get together and do like fun car stuff together, right? Without having all that bylaws and club presidents and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so that's how we started off, and then I did a show in Pismo back in April. It's called Z-Day California. There's a few other entities out there that are hosting their own Z-Day type of shows. And yeah, so that's how it started. I did a show in Pismo. It was a pretty good success. We're looking to do it again, annually. But basically, with that show, we had all the Z clubs throughout California, the majority of them, the big ones.
Right.
We met in a centralized location, which was Pismo Beach. It's pretty scenic.
Nice.
Everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, love Pismo.
Yeah, so we went out there and, we met up. it was a car show. You know, we had trophies, some nice custom trophies. Randy Rodriguez, he actually designed the 370Z, so he was out there, you know,
That's sweet.
signing autographs, kind of in posters and stuff like that. So
Right.
he actually
Sweet.
he came to announce, you know, at the last minute, you know, which was cool. We thought that was awesome for him to show up and support us, you know, as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. For sure. Well, very cool, man.
Yeah.
So we got now the Nissfest, the 2015 Nissfest. How many years has this been going? Is this restarting, or have you gone for a few
Actually,
years now? Or
No, this is our first annual Nissfest. What we're trying to do is bring back. Our intent was to integrate, you know, grassroots racing with, you know, the car show, because there's not really anything like that
Right.
for Nissan. You know, they have
yeah, for sure.
other shows out here for other manufacturers, but for Nissan we don't. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we actually do a challenge. It's called Nissan. It's called it's through Corner 3. It's a Nissan Challenge Series, and it's a track event. It's a series where we go once a month and race, you know, at a designated track. It's kind of like a time attack, pretty much.
Right. Cool. Very
Nissan.
cool. Very cool. So why don't you just give us a heads up? When is Nissfest, and then what can we expect? I know I read through. I guess you have a website for it, which is nissfest.com, nissfest.com.
That's
And
correct.
it's got tons of cool pictures, like tons of sweet pictures on there. And then there's kind of like some featured events. You want to kind of give us the lowdown on the different events that you guys are having? It looks like it's kind of a car show, like you said, kind of a car show, and you're gonna have a track day as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to be a car show, a track day, and then we're also going to have an autocross section for enthusiasts that want to come out and test their cars in the autocross. You know, if they're
Right.
not, you know, just to get more familiar with their car before they, you know, take that
Yeah.
next step, go on the big track. It's there at the Fontana Speedway. It's actually the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to do the Roval course, which is the infield plus the, you know, partial
Right.
of the NASCAR.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It looks like you'd be able to kind of hit one of those little straightaway, and then that big long sweeper.
Yeah.
That looks like it's gonna be a blast, man.
Yeah, I did it. You know, I did it for the first time last year in November, and you know, it's a good adrenaline rush. You know, you're doing about 150 miles an hour, and then you hit that bank, and
Jeez.
you
Yeah.
know, it makes you sweat a little bit. You know. So.
Yeah. So question. Now I noticed that one of the things that you have is you're gonna have the Nissfest, the show, the car show, and you're gonna be giving out awards. And I noticed that there's a best off-road truck award. Now I'm curious if I could take my lifted Nissan Frontier around on that track.
You know, it'd be really, really sketchy if you tried doing that. But you know, at another track, I saw a lifted Toyota Tacoma hauling tail down the track.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice.
But you know, it's really sketchy if you do that. But I mean, it's up to you
Yeah.
if you're
No,
set
for
up.
sure. So how's it going to run with the track day? They're going to be separate events and or not events, but separate kind of like vehicle classes and stuff like that that'll be able to run around, or
Yeah, basically, what it is, there'll be different run groups. What we're trying to do is we're trying to do a dedicated GTR run group. So we have close to 20 GTRs already registered. We need 25
nice.
to make that happen. So
Right.
it sounds like, you know, it's going to be pretty exciting. You know, now we're not only going to have Nissans, we're going to have Infinities out there. We're going to have Datsuns there. So
Yeah,
you know.
I love the old Datsuns too, and I think that's like that's a big thing down in SoCal here, and you know, a lot of the I see a lot of 510s and 280s running around, so it'll be cool to see a lot of the, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a really good classic Japanese car scene, you know.
Yeah, they just had one in on the 19th. It was called.
Yeah, I saw some pictures from that. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of my friends went to that. So unfortunately, I was working another event.
Yeah.
So I couldn't attend.
So
Right
you've done some events before?
Yeah, I you know, it wasn't my show specifically, but I've helped try to organize some shows before. Yes.
Right. So I mean,
And then, like I said, I had that Z-Day show in Pismo that I do.
mm-hmm.
You know, it was our first year as well doing that back in April. So.
So I mean, kind of give us a little history with you, man. I'm a truck guy, but I've had a G35 in the past, and love the cars and love to go fast too much. That's why I had to get rid of my car. But what was your first Nissan, man? What kind of brought you to the brand?
Actually, my sister, she had a 350Z,
Mm-hmm.
and a long time ago, my older brother had a Z for a while. I'm not sure what it was. It was when I was younger, but I just sometimes I used to borrow my sister's 350, and I enjoyed driving it. I wanted to get me. It's not my daily car. I have
Right.
a couple other cars, but
Sure.
I actually strictly gonna start tracking the car because I have it set up right now. For tracking. So.
Mm-hmm. So
Nice.
this 370 you have is your first Nissan then?
I had a Pathfinder, then I had an Armada, and then I have this car.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. So you're very loyal to the brand then.
Yeah, I had several Nissans before. So
Good. What you said your current one is set up. What year is your current car?
it's 2010.
2010. Did you
Yeah.
did you buy it new or did you buy it used or?
Actually, I bought it pre-owned for a good deal from some older guy that was just tired of getting in and out of it because it's they're kind of low. And
Oh yeah.
you almost got to roll out pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when I got my G35, I was looking. It was between that or a Z, and the wife overruled me on that one. She's like, "No, we need 4 seats, not 2 seats." And so I was like,
Yeah,
"Damn it."
it's definitely a struggle. Sometimes when I drive it, to go to work, in the mornings I'll hop in a sedan to take the kids to school, and then I'll come back and contemplate. Oh, I'll just take the Z since I already dropped off the kids or whatnot. So
Yeah, right.
just
Right.
have fun with
Yeah,
it at
for sure.
that point.
So
Sure.
with kind of what made y'all want to do this Nissfest, man? What
Well,
I mean, obviously
you
you said you've done some events, but what made you want to step out on your own and do these?
I think what I wanted to do was merge the two together. I did my Z Day show, which I enjoyed. The Z community. What I really enjoy and love about it is that they come in all ages. You have older people, you have younger people. So it's cool, and everybody comes together. They're real nice and just friendly.
Mhm.
And I also just, started tracking the car with a bunch of other Z's. So what I wanted to do was, hey, let's do something all Nissan, and that's all the idea
Yeah.
can be, and that's where
Very
we're at
cool.
today. So we're, it's definitely a challenge. We're trying to make it happen. There's a lot
Yeah.
of, with events, there's just so many obstacles you have to overcome. People don't realize, the average guy that goes to a show, they just, pay and enjoy the show. But there's so many working parts behind the scenes to actually make it happen, and it's a challenge.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave and I just Dave organizes the national Xterra, or I'm sorry, the WENTwindrock, which is wheeling enthusiasts of Nissan trucks, out in Tennessee, where we went. Was it last
2 weeks
weekend,
ago.
Dave? 2 weeks ago. And he puts on a really really fun event out there. We just had a blast doing that. It's an all Nissan event, kind of the same thing but totally different, off road and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, so Dave knows all too well how much work goes into it, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got you kind of get a team of people together because you can't do it on your own. So you have a couple guys that are helping you, or how's that work? Do you have?
Yeah, we have a couple of my guys are helping me with networking with the vendors and stuff like that. I do the majority of the talking to when it comes to the vendors, but
Right.
I have a guy that helps me with the layouts and stuff like that, and another one that's helping me with getting the word out and stuff like that. So there's several people involved. Actually, there's more than just us three initially, but those are guys on my team that are doing that.
Well,
But,
Right.
Speaking of your team, because we found you through Instagram, how are you finding the words kind of getting out for your event?
Instagram is a major marketing tool that we try to monopolize when it comes to putting our events out there. So,
Right.
We use that. We have a Facebook page for the event. We also have our own club Facebook page and stuff like that. And then we also have a lot of other Instagram pages promoting the event as well.
Sure. So, but
Is there
really,
Is there a lot of? Oh, sorry, Dave.
no, go ahead. So you're seeing like the major interest from Instagram then?
I would say, yeah, that's getting us the most exposure.
That I find it amazing because I've got a few Instagram pages for what we do, and yeah, it trips me out how much people you can get following you and want to respond with you that you can't get maybe on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a visual person. I like to see, nice pictures and stuff like that, and it's more interesting than browsing through a website or whatnot. So
right,
yeah, for sure.
it makes it a lot easier too.
Do you get a lot of like forum guys and stuff like that? Or is there like a bunch of different Z forums and stuff like that, or that are they kind of get together and come out via forums, or?
Yeah, we have we're working. We have stuff posted on the 370Z forum. We have a few other forums that one of my guys is managing the posts on. We also have a guy. I believe he's from. I think it's called, the name of the company is called Internet Brands Auto, and they run the nation's largest. They're like one of the nation's largest forum manager sites, I want to say, and they're marketing for us as well on the Nissan specific
right on
as well. So
very cool, very cool. So other than kind of like so you have the exhaust competition that you're going to be doing, right?
Yeah, the exhaust competition. We're also going to be doing the trophies for the car shows, and then obviously for the Nissan Challenge, they give out awards too for that as well.
Okay, cool. And then for vendors, what kind of vendors do you have coming out, or sponsors / vendors that are coming out to kind of support and are they going to be setting up like booths and stuff like that during the car show, or how's that work?
Yeah, they're going to be coming out with their own cars, display cars. They're also going to have vending booths and stuff like that too. And then some of them are going to be, having some on-site sales as well.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
So
well,
what,
sweet,
what
man.
kind of what this is it a full weekend? I hate to sound dumb with this, but I know it's definitely on my birthday, November 21st. But is it a whole weekend of events, or how does it go?
It's actually just on that Saturday.
Okay.
So it's an all-day Saturday. It starts at 9, ends at 5 p.m.
Right. So you're going to be worn out by the time this.
Yeah, I did this.
Be a long day.
I did 2 shows on the 19th and 20th, and I was at the Speedway on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And man, by the time I was done Sunday, I was just beat. I felt like I was in a rugby team or something like that, because I was just sore and walked all over and stuff like that. So it was fun though. I mean, it was definitely a learning experience, because what I wanted to do was be able to work these events to get ready for our show.
Sure.
That was my main objective, to work these shows, kind of get familiar with how things are ran there, and then, get kind of geared up for this show.
Right. So I'm looking through your list of cars. You got your typical Maximas, Altimas, Cubes, and stuff like that, and then I see a little bit of Infiniti and Datsun. But what's the exotic stuff that a listener here might be able to come out and see?
Well, we're definitely going to have a lot of GTRs there. So, I mean, as far as Nissan goes, we'll have some of the Japanese classic cars that are, fully restored and nice condition. We'll have full track cars for the GTRs, the Zs too, and stuff like that. We're trying to get some big names out there that I don't want to mention yet because they haven't confirmed, but they're big track names, so hopefully we could see them out there. And
do you expect, like with the newer GTR, what is it, the R35? Do you expect a lot of that coming out?
We'll have a bunch of different ones, to tell you the truth. Most of the generations, all the way from the R32, R33s, R34s.
Right.
So
I
think this is gonna be a combination of everything.
My favorite is the 34, man. I love that car.
The 34 is pretty clean. There's a few shops out there that have some, so they'll be out there representing with theirs as well. And
I literally have one floating around town illegal, and I'm not sure how it's legal, but every once in a while on a nice day, you'll see it just driving around town.
Yeah, I like the R32s. Those are pretty nice too. I like them.
Right, yeah. And you guys out there in California land of the sun there, y'all are a little bit lucky because everything gets imported y'all's way, So here going towards the East Coast, man, we don't get some of the cooler cars that you guys get to.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, with a lot of those older, exotic cars like those R32s and stuff like that, they're not very street legal. You know,
Right.
they pass smog, or maybe they might have some type of registration issue. So
Yeah, I guess
you know,
that is an issue there in California. What everything still has to pass.
yeah, that and gas. I don't know what's the gas price over there where you're at.
Oh, you don't want to know my gas prices right now. I paid $179 this week.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's.
I know. I was stationed in Fort Campbell, and I remember it was 80 cents at one time. I was like, man,
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
especially when you run a track day or something like that, and you go out and you run around the track, all day long, burn your whole gas tank out. You're like, dang, that's like $65-$70 on top of driving there and back. And
I know. I think back
man.
in the day, I was out at Chuckawalla Valley Raceway, and when you get off the exit there, there's no gas stations, and within probably like a 20-mile radius.
Right.
So I was forced to use the fuel station there at the track, and that the gas, almost double. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
But hey,
Get you enough in there to get you home.
yeah, but you gotta, if you want to play, you gotta pay. You know what I mean? So
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Well,
Well, cool, man.
yeah. So
I-
okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say, go ahead and I don't know, if you have anything else to plug, as far as websites or whatever, and we appreciate having you on and sharing the event. I'm gonna be doing my darndest to get out there. I'd like to sponsor. I'm gonna be talking to you a little bit more about that, and whatnot. But
we definitely want to see some trucks out there. I know a lot of the people are anticipating more of the Nissan and Infiniti and Datsun's, like more of the sports cars, but we definitely would like to see some nice lifted trucks with some mud tires or whatever.
Right. Well, I know we've dealt with what is it, Dan Nismo Fiesta there in Texas.
yeah.
And they actually have a nice truck turnout, man. So maybe we can get some of our SoCal guys to show up there.
I'm gonna see if I can't rally some troops out to come out and represent a little bit. So we'll see if I can't get that going.
But give us your websites and any kind of contacts that people listening might want to get a hold of. And when does registration end?
We'll probably have registration all the way up to the day of, just depending on how many people we get. There's going to be so many people that obviously that are going to be able to get on the track, which there's a cap on that.
Sure.
And then the autocross, and then the car show. But general admission, the more people we get, obviously the more successful the event is going to be.
Right.
And at the end of the day, my goal is to bring the show to, with creating the show was for the enthusiasts, and just like my show at Z Day, that was my intent, was to do it for, all the Z owners, to give us the opportunity to meet each other face to face, because, most of us know each other through social media, but we haven't met in person. So it was a good opportunity to do that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you need further information, there's multiple sources. You can go on my SoCalZ website. It's www.socalz.net. You can also do the Nissfest website, which is www.nissfest.com. You can look us up on Instagram, Nissfest, SoCal_Z on Instagram as well. And then you can go to the Facebook pages. So we try to cover most of the social media aspects, other than Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter guy, so I didn't really want to. So.
I wouldn't worry about
that.
I wouldn't worry about that.
I'm not a Twitter guy either. Dave does a little bit of Twitter, but I just can't do it. I can't stick with it.
Unless you're a Kardashian or something, you're not getting anything on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, man, we really appreciate you having on, and maybe after your show you can give us a recap and some of the highlights and maybe plans for the future.
Yeah, what I want to do is try to connect you guys with the guy from Corner 3 Garage. He's running the Nissan Challenge. His name is John.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you guys some more information on the track and what his intent is, and our intent to help him. Basically we're trying to make the series bigger. That way it continues to grow. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll try and post up on our Facebook page and our site some of the information you guys have, and we'll kind of do our part to help spread the word and keep the Nissan networking going, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Definitely. So if you guys have any other questions or whatever, make sure you can call me anytime. You guys got my contact information.
Yeah.
Reach out to me anytime you want.
Sweet, man.
All right, man.
It, Tony.
We appreciate it.
All right, David. You have a good night.
Xterra Performance has your Nissan covered for any off-road adventures. With aftermarket brands like ARB, CVT Tents, Warren, Heps Designs, Insane Fab, White Knuckle Sliders, and so many more. When you're ready to take your truck or SUV to the next level, search www.xterraperformance.com for the best deals around. Remember, that's xterraperformance.com.
All right, guys. So that was Tony with Nissfest, man. That was some good information there. He once again, if you want to kind of check out what they do, it's nissfest.com, and check out that. And it looks like from what I got on their Instagram, man, they have a huge following on Instagram. So they're posting up a ton of pictures, and I hope this is a great turnout, Dan, and I hope you get to go out there.
Yeah, I'm really planning on doing it. Unless something extreme happens, I'm planning on sponsoring, maybe getting a little vendor tent set up, and maybe getting the Nissan Nation podcast name over there, so we can maybe, who knows, maybe we'll interview some guys or something. I don't know. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for us us movers and shakers. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Well, I gotta call you Captain Dan tonight, man, with that headset, dude, and you're coming, huh? Captain Dan here. Ding.
All right, Dave. I think that's all we got for tonight. Good show.
Very good show, man. It's good. It's good to be getting back into the routine, man. I know we got some big things coming up. Stuff we can't talk about right now for legal reasons. There's pictures and all kinds of things that we can't talk about that we want to share. So let me do the plug before we get out of here, Dan. If you guys are going to buy anything from Amazon, if you will go to our website, www.nissannationpodcast.com, and if you'll click one of the couple banners that we have from Amazon, what that's going to do is it's tracking where you shopped from, and that's all Amazon wants to know is where did you find them, how did you get there. But what it does for us, it gives us a couple nickels back every time you might buy something, and what that does is it throws support to the show. The hosting and everything's not free. It's not cheap. It's not expensive, but hey, you're getting this jam-packed entertainment that me and Dan like to call the podcast. And maybe it's going to get us, what we're hoping is get us to some more of these events where we can do more live broadcasts. I know definitely the plan is next year to do Moab, obviously Went and stuff again. And any support you can throw our way is going to that. It's going to get Dan a better headset, maybe, that he can buy.
Don't hate on my headset, man. This thing is fresh out the packing, man. This thing is sweet. Haters gonna hate.
That's right. But
it's because you got that big mic in your face.
That's right, man. It's professional equipment. What am I thinking there, Dan? But if you go to Amazon through our banners ads at www.nissannationpodcast, and just show us some love that way. That's all we ask. We're trying to do a couple T-shirts, maybe some stickers, stuff like that. I know I'm sending a bunch of stickers out this week to the Colorado guys. They're having their wrap-up event. And that's all we ask, guys. We're going to keep doing this till you quit listening.
Tell your friends about us. High-five people. Slap our sticker on their truck and tell them, do it.
Do it. But, and you can find us in many different ways. Instagram, we are Nissan Nation Podcast on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, Twitter. I hear there's water on the moon now, so we might have some kind of base up there we can broadcast from.
Mars.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mars, the moon, Mars. It's all the same, man. It's all millions of miles away.
Podcast is in the water on Mars. If you go up there and check it out.
Yeah, they'll find the NNP logo up there. But so let's see, Dan. I don't know what's coming up next, man. I don't want to.
Who cares, man? Let's. You know what's coming up next, man? Guilty pleasures of the third kind. So stay tuned for our next podcast coming up to you. And until then, you know what? Next podcast will probably be the race recap for Team Xterra Racing, which is going to be the race for Blue Water Desert Challenge, which is coming up in a week and a half now, I think. It's
how many miles?
9th, 10th, 11th, something like that.
How many miles is this one, Dan?
There's 30-mile laps, and we're going to be racing for Saturday and Sunday. So
at the rate y'all are going, y'all get at least a lap and a half in, right?
Hey, that's pretty funny, Dave. You should go burn it, man.
No, man, I'm excited.
Pancake, buddy.
I'm excited to see what you guys can do, man. I know, I think that truck's been shaking down.
I just posted pictures on our Facebook page of the truck getting a shakedown after we replace the rear end again, or the rear end gears, and so far so good, man.
Dude, I'm excited. Yeah, I can't wait for the recap of that, and maybe we can get some
give
selfies.
The recap.
Some selfies that are in the winner's circle, man, and not on the side.
For sure.
Well, for the big guy over there in California, my name is David Boyd, and this is the Nissan Nation. And what are we, Dan?
Oh!